Hello viewers, welcome to another episode of Red Flag. With me here today is Lois Magang. And today we're going to discuss about the national question, specifically secession and self-determination. Over the past few days or months, there's been a talk going on around the country about some parts of the country wanting to secede and actualize the self-determination. So what is self-determination, Lois? And what does it entail?
Self-determination, in the proper meaning of the term, simply refers to the right of any nation or any group of people to determine their own destiny, to determine the direction that they want to take as a nation or as a people, and to determine the kind of life that they want to live. It simply means independence from a group of people who, at the moment, control them. Therefore, that's what self-determination means as regards the situation that is happening in the country.
So, what is the historical background of secession?
Well, we have had examples of countries which have undergone this process in the past. Norway split from the Kingdom of Sweden. Austria-Hungary was a very big kingdom, and there are very many countries which were included in that kingdom. Hungary had to secede from that kingdom. We had Serbia, which had so many countries within it, countries like Croatia, countries like Bosnia, countries like Macedonia. These countries split away from the greater Serbia. You know, we've had the South Sudan splitting from the Sudan, something that's very, very recent. Very, very recent. We have had several examples. Ireland, for example, split from the United Kingdom. It was under the control of the English. And these are part of the examples of countries that underwent this process.
So, what is the driving force behind this secession cause?
A closer look would reveal that there are interests that are behind these calls for secession. Usually, they are nations which oppress other nations at any given point. So the calls for secession are due to these oppressed nations wanting to break away from these oppressor nations. Usually the ruling class of these oppressor nations drive out of business and out of influence the ruling classes of these oppressed nations. And so these ruling classes of the oppressed nations use this as an opportunity, and they rally their people and they try to secede and to break away from the hegemony of these ruling or these oppressor nations.
And whose interest do they serve?
Looking at the matter closely and looking at the recent examples, it is usually the bourgeoisie as a class that leads this struggle for secession and for self-determination. The bourgeoisie is what leads this struggle because it is their interests that are affected when their nations are dominated by other oppressor nations. The bourgeoisie are driven out of business due to competition and due to this hegemony by these ruling nations, and therefore what they really want is for them to have their own autonomous territories in order for them to dominate and in order for them to do business. Therefore they want their kinsmen or their nations, the people with whom they share a common background, to break away from this influence and this control by these oppressor nations in order for them to have their own territory to exploit. So therefore, it is not about the people, it's not about the citizens, it's usually about the ruling classes, it's usually about the capitalist class, it's usually about the bourgeoisie.
So, does this really solve the problem secession seeks?
It doesn't, simply because it is not about the interests of the people. It's not about the interests of the workers. It's not about the interests of the farmers. It's not about the interests of any other person. It's about the interests of the bourgeoisie and the business people only. Yes.
So, do you think this is the way to go?
It is not the way to go. Why I say that is because for the people, it will not solve anything. The people will continue living the same way that they have been living. What changes is the ruling class. So you have one master changing and being substituted for another. Therefore, it is not the way to go. The way to go should be for the people themselves to take control of the means of ruling the state, the workers and the farmers and the ordinary people. That is what is going to end all oppression, whether on a national level or on any other level.
Thank you very much for coming to the show. And thank you viewers for watching today's episode. Visit our social media pages at Red Flag Kenya on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. See you next time.